Hey, welcome into Ducks Live post-game show. I'm your host, Todd Fox, along with Catella Chronicles' own Dominic Lorenz. How you doing, my friend?
What's up, Todd? Happy post-Christmas to everybody celebrating. Hopefully you enjoyed it with your family and friends. And it's a vacation for some, and I guess it was a vacation for our Ducks tonight still.
Ducks are still finding a lot of coal in their stockings tonight after this one. We're going to talk to Kings fan who's going to join us tonight. Bill from Top Fan Rivalry. He talks all sports. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great. Dom, man, you can't say stuff like that before you ask me a question. Yeah, no, I'm great, man. It's happy holidays to everybody. I hope everybody had a good Hanukkah, good Christmas, whatever they celebrate. New Year's is coming up. So, yeah, looking forward to all things and getting into the new year.
That's right. Now, as we get started tonight, the Ducks currently, after a red-hot start, they are still currently in first place because a couple teams didn't play. They're tied with Edmonton and Vegas. However, the Kings creep within 3 points of them as the San Jose Sharks are just around the corner, only 7 points back. And before we get into anything that happened on the ice tonight in the slaughter, you got to look at it this way. The Ducks in the last 8 games are 2-6. That's a bit concerning as this is the first rough patch of the season that they've played other than that 3-game stretch earlier that wasn't, where they didn't score but 2 goals in 3 games. But that was a little blimp on the radar. Now you got a big concern right here, losing 6 of 8 in a very, very competitive Pacific Division and Western Conference. So I'll start with that tonight. I'll throw it over to Dominic before we get into Bill's question about the Kings. Dominic, how concerned are you with the way the Ducks have played so far in the last 8 games?
It hasn't been great, clearly, as you perfectly stated it. We knew at some point, the 7-game winning streak earlier in the season was great, and the come from behind wins and all the things that have gone right for the Ducks always make you feel good. But we knew at some point it's still a young team. The rebuild is somewhat done, and now they're kind of on the exit and on the upward trend, which is great. And to still be through that, losing 6 of 8 and still in a 3-way tie for first with Vegas and Edmonton, I don't want to say you can rest on your laurels a little bit, but it feels good that you didn't go from top to bottom in that, 2-week span or whatever, those 8 games have been. Mm-hmm. But I would say overall within these last 8 games, it's been poor defense, lack of high quality shot opportunities, and to a big extent, just looking off on the ice and a lack of determination. It just looked like, especially tonight, the Ducks were not ready against the Kraken before the Christmas holiday vacation. That was a game you should have won. Kraken have fallen off the pace, last in the Pacific Division, and they came into your house once again and beat you 3-1 pretty convincingly. And in both those games, the Ducks did not look prepared or had the drive and will to win a hockey game. And as they stated very well tonight on the broadcast, out of how many grand total games have the Ducks played now this year? We are now at 38. Mm-hmm. Only 14 of 38 games this year, the Ducks have scored first. They find themselves trailing way too much, and I think opposing teams are figuring out, we get the Ducks behind, you can only come back and be the cardiac comeback kids so many times before your luck runs out.
That's true. And again, right away, I mean, we weren't even 5 minutes into this game. A lot of people were still getting their nachos, hot dogs, and whatever they sell at Crypto Arena, and it was already 2-0. So, Bill, How happy were you when they took a 2-0 lead? Because
we're going to end the show. It's over. Good night, everybody. Have a great night.
Yeah, it's. I listen. 5 minutes in the game, you're up 2-0. That means nothing. Hockey is a game where that means nothing. So I was cautiously optimistic. How's that? You guys have been playing great hockey all year long. If it were baseball, we'd say we're about the dog days, right? Because we're about midway point. We're kind of so it's teams go through a little jitterbug here or there. You'd rather have it happen now than have it happen in April and late March and early April. So get it out the way now.
Yeah, that's true. And to go off both of you guys' points in this one, I mean, listen, when they went down 2-0 early against and Dostal had a bad start, I had the feeling that I was listening to the Kings broadcast, and they were saying, the next goal it scores is probably the most important goal, because if the Ducks get one right here, it's 2-1. It's anybody's game. We've seen the same old song and dance, like Dominic said, where the Ducks fall down and then they're able to get back up. And then he said, but if the Kings score right here, you got a pretty good cushion. You're feeling good about it yourself. And lo and behold, a couple minutes later, the Kings scored. So that definitely changed the tide of the game. And that's unfortunate. I mean, the Ducks were getting outshot big time in that first period as well. The Kings put it on them. And to also go back to the point that I was thinking that Dominic brought up is they had a pretty good rest, between the Kraken game, and you would have expected a much more focused Ducks team, a little, fresh and ready to go. And they came out real poor. I'm in a Ducks chat room, and they are just like, boy, what a shit show. You kept seeing it over and over and over, because this is not what you would expect from a first place team.
Oh, 100%. And I knew this game was going to go sideways very early, even before the Kings scored their first goal. The reason being, as a broadcaster myself, some people don't believe it, but there's a jinx involved somewhere, right? Mm-hmm. Well, our broadcasters, for a good 5 minutes right before puck drop in the first couple minutes of the game, talking about how, the Ducks are coming off the break. They need to bounce back after the win. And the big point they were talking about the Kings is the Kings just don't score lately. They don't score. They don't score. LaFerriere hasn't scored in a long time, and Doughty hasn't scored in a long time. Boom, boom, boom. I'm like, what? I'm like, that's. And then they talked about the Ducks had only scored first 14 times this year. Boom, they go down 1-0. And then Drew Hellison gets into the game in the starting role, and Pavel Minchikov is a healthy scratch for tonight's game. That's not a good sign for your defense. Hellison's probably been our worst defenseman this year. So many points. I'm just like, so once it got to 2-0, I'm sitting there saying, yeah, this is the kind of night it's going to go. And as soon as I say that, 3-0 Kings. It's just amazing how sports work.
Yeah, it's sort of like when the announcer says, boy, this kicker hasn't missed all year. Doink.
Doink.
Yep. Yeah, and as you're looking through the stats, Todd, you mentioned stats, you mentioned standings. As you're looking through the stats tell you a different story. I mean, it tells you that it should be a lot closer than what it was.
Yep.
But as we see in baseball, as we see in hockey, regardless, it just happens that way, right? Just because your stats are relatively even doesn't mean that you're gonna win the game and or lose the game. It just depends.
Yeah.
So
the Ducks outshot or the Kings outshot the Ducks 30-25, which on paper not bad, but when you break it down per period, 17-7 in the first period, not great for the Ducks. But they found a way to make an adjustment in the second period, 12-1. So right there on paper, you're saying, okay, bad first. I think if the Ducks limited the Kings to a first period of 2-0, it almost seemed like that first period was first game of the season, getting your sea legs under you, not knowing, going back to the basics. The rest of the way, the final 40 minutes of this game, it was a 2-1 hockey game. Yeah. So one bad period on paper is a big swing in momentum. The Ducks win the faceoffs. They were better on the power play, 1 for 2. They held the Kings 1-4. More hits, a couple less block shots, couple takeaways. And in the third period, the Kings outshot 12-6. But again, one bad period can completely change it, just like in baseball. One bad inning, and you're screwed 10 ways to Sunday.
Right. I mean, when America's team was playing the Blue Jays in the World Series this year, America's team had a really bad one inning where the Blue Jays in game 1 just like took control of things. And everybody was saying to me, wait a second, the Dodgers are done. No, they had one bad inning in game 1, one bad inning, right? I mean, Todd's asked me to call the Dodgers America's team. Dom, I don't know why he's asked me to do that.
That's not me.
But he has.
Satan's team, yes, but not the Americans. But go ahead.
No, but so Todd, can I take you back to what you said a second ago about the standings? Is that okay for a second?
Go for it.
Yeah, go for it.
So one of the things that I think is interesting is you've got all 3 leaders with 44 points, right? But the Ducks and Edmonton are giving up. The Golden Knights have 3 games in hand. So advantage Golden Knights right now, right? And then the Kings are at 37 games. So they have 2 games in hand over the Kings. So it's going to be interesting to see how those games play themselves out and where the points. This is why I hate the 3-point system in overtime for things like this. But it's also the same reason why I love the 3-point system in overtime, right? For reasons like this, it's kind of a love-hate thing. But Todd, to your point, I mean, you've got Utah that's knocking on the door right there. We don't talk about San Jose because let's face it, nobody on this show likes.
We can agree on that as Ducks and Kings fans.
Yeah. Chicago's been rebuilding for the last 14 years. It's good to see Vancouver at the bottom, but I mean, you've got, I mean, even if you look at this, St. Louis, even though they played 39 games, they got 38 points. They can still go on a mini-me run and make something happen.
Yeah, like right now, like what concerns me right now is to get out of this dull period, because I was talking to Cody the other day and I said, what's your synopsis on why this team is struggling right now? And he said, well, defensively they're the same, and they've been able to outpace that defense. And he told me that the last 8 games they've been scoring fewer than 3 goals in most games, and they're not able to hold teams under that as well. So their defensive warts are showing, and those pucks that were squirting through are hitting the post or going just wide. Yep. And so that's what's happening. They had the opportunities tonight. This could have been a 6-3 game, maybe even 6-4, but they missed on a couple opportunities and the puck handling wasn't as crisp. So, you're going to hit some bad stretches, bad luck, and it's just going to compound. But we're hoping that, I'd rather see this as a Ducks fan right now than later on. I'd rather finish strong before going into the postseason.
Yeah, 100%. Now, as Ducks fans, when you're always looking at, I mean, just like Angels fans are looking at Dodger, blah, 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 right? I mean, on Monday, the Kings go to Colorado. Colorado's a halfway decent team this year.
You think?
Right.
What are we doing with here?
They're relatively decent, right?
Yeah.
Then they play Tampa Bay, again, another relatively decent team. And then they have a back-to-back with a day off, which I hate this. But Minnesota comes in on the 3rd to play the Kings. And then they have the 4th off, and then they play again in LA on the 5th. So the next 4 games are with teams that are relatively decent, right?
Yeah. And, so, and the Ducks have the opposite. They got San Jose on Monday at home. Then they get Tampa Bay in an afternoon game on New Year's Eve. And then Minnesota Friday the 2nd. And then the month of January for the Ducks, I'll say this, because of the Olympic break, and all 3 of us have talked about this at different points of the season, the schedule is much more compacted this year.
So they have an awful lot of games in January.
All but 4 games, the 2nd, the 13th, the 17th, and the 19th. Everything else, massive road trip. You got the East Coast swing, and then at the end of the month, it starts off with Colorado, that, mediocre team, as we all say. And then you have divisional teams, Seattle, Calgary, Edmonton, Vancouver. So there are opportunities for the Ducks where they can get themselves back into this race. And it starts Monday. San Jose, you've only seen them once. Both teams are completely different from game number 2 of the season. So let's see how things transition. And Tampa Bay's a tough team as well. And then Minnesota got Quinn Hughes. They've added to their roster. Maybe that's something that Pat Verbeek and the Ducks need to look at is, look what Minnesota did. They picked up a big superstar, and now they're ascending in the right direction. The Ducks, who have kind of leveled off, have kept what they've had so far, and it's worked. It hasn't gone bad, hasn't gone rogue. But you're seeing the ineptitudes on defense that we've highlighted. But when we're not scoring, as Todd said, 5, 6, 7 goals a game, you're going to get exposed at some point or another.
Yeah, the defense needs a cleanup. And one thing I'll say about Dostal, not only the defense not being able to control the puck at times, sometimes they look like a world-class team, and they're just not allowing teams to get deep into their zone or create long-winded, scoring plays or keeping their guys on the ice. They're able to clear the puck. They're able to move it back and transition really good. But now it seems like they're getting sloppy in the defensive zone. They're losing track of the guys that they're supposed to be guarding or keeping away from the goalie. And then the goalie's not helping them out either by allowing, 2-3 rebounds. It's like, bro, you got to cover up on the first shot, at least if you can. Fall on that sucker, whatever you got to do. And unfortunately, that's allowing a lot of second chance shots. So, and like the Kings, credit to them tonight, man. They crashed the net. They used the bodies and they got crisp passes. They seem to just be a skate or two ahead of the Ducks at all times, especially in that first period. I mean, they worked them good.
We all know the freeway faceoff is always a game, if it's at Honda Center or Staples Center, that whoever gets off to the better start, that more aggressive start, is different. And we saw in years past where it was physical, 3 or 4 fights a game. And it was that. Now you're seeing more strategic offense and defense from both teams, and it's not as physicality, fight type mentality. It's more, a little chippy here, a little chippy there. But this rivalry has changed, and I'm not saying it's in a bad way. I think it's just where these two teams are at franchise-wise, with the Kings being a little bit older, the Ducks being a little younger, and you don't have that Getzlaf, Perry, Solani era Ducks against Kopitar, Dowdy, Brown, that the guys that all came up together. So it's different right now.
Correct. So it's funny that you mentioned the fights. I'll never forget this, you guys. Several years ago, and this tells you how long it was, the Kings were playing the Coyotes in Phoenix. And it was a game in March that both teams needed a point. And I want to say this is before. I want to say this was before the 3 points. Okay. I want to say this might have been just, I don't remember if it was or not, but the game was very soft. The game was not a moment, like nobody was taking momentum. And a guy named, oh my gosh, his name escapes me now. It was the Kings enforcer. But he goes out onto the ice, and the Coyotes enforcer goes out on the ice for a face-off, and they're both mic'd up. And one of them goes, "Hey, you want to go?" Yeah. And he goes, "Yeah, sure." He goes, "At the face-off?" Yeah. He goes, "Good luck to you." And he goes, "Yeah, good luck to you." As soon as the puck dropped, they just went at it. But it changed the course of the game, right? And so to Silent E's 749's point, the game is about momentum, right? And you go down 2-0 or so, it doesn't matter. Go back and get one of those goals, go back into the locker room after the end of the first, down 2-1. It's a whole different ball game than down 4-0.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, I would have loved. I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall in that locker room when they were down 4-0 to see what Coach Q said, because he did not look happy whatsoever.
And he didn't look happy. 5.5 minutes in the game, and he called the one and only timeout of the game after down 2-0. He was screaming at them, saying, what the F is going on, guys? This is horrible. And they respond 2 minutes later, giving up a third goal.
Yeah.
That first intermission had to have been rough. And the Ducks did come out with a little more aggression. McTavish got the only goal of the game. We'll go through the scoring breakdown in a little bit. But, if the Ducks somehow, some way, after 2 periods, battled back and made it 4-3, even 4-2 after 2, I would have been like, okay, maybe get some momentum, get some things going. And I think what really halted the Ducks, and I'll give the Kings goaltender tonight much, much credit. First period, I believe it was 2-0 still, and a little bit of a breakaway, poor pass from the Kings, and it let Cutter Gauthier get basically him against the goalie. Yeah. You had that beautiful breakaway opportunity. And I'm looking at the TV, I'm saying, this is it. This gets us 2-1. It kind of snaps you back into the game. And Forsberg, he was perfect tonight. That low center of gravity, the low butterfly stance. He was letting nothing through the 5-hole, and Cutter loves going through that 5-hole, and a little mismatch right there, and you think he's going to get it in, but an incredible save. Then a minute or two later, Jackson Lacombe, who's done it twice already this year, tries on a sharp angle shot, tries to throw it off the back of Forsberg. As he does, Forsberg just happened to be turning the right direction away from the net, and he didn't get the proper ricochet to the back of the net. If Forsberg was standing, shoulder width apart equal to the goalpost, it ricochets off his back and in. But as he's kind of turning, it takes a weird hook. So right there's 2 goals. It's a 2-2 or 3-2 game. So Forsberg for sure, he laid it out there for the Kings tonight. So again, hate to say it, but you got to give credit where credit is due, especially when you get your cheeks clapped 6-1 a little bit.
That is true. That is true. Well, speaking of that, we're gonna have to get into the scoring, and let's just do it now, man. Let's rip that Band-Aid off before we get into the 3 stars of the game and the hoser of the game to round out the show. So,
it's not pretty tonight here, folks.
Dude, it is not. It is not this is not the game that if this is your first post game,
Dowdy. Are these the stars we're talking about?
Yeah.
Well, no, we'll talk about that in a second. Let's do the scoring.
Wait, are we live? Are we live? Wait.
What's that? I'm getting a thing in my ear. Cut Bill off. Cut Bill off.
Yeah.
No, but the scoring
we're going through a tunnel, Bill. We're losing you.
Scoring
lunch break. Gotta go. You guys remember that from Spies Like Us?
Yeah.
Lunch break. Gotta go.
The easy, quick scoring summary in this one tonight. First period, Kings, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 goals, 3 on even strength, 1 on a power play goal. Drew Doughty, his 3rd, Moore, his 5th, LaFerriere with his 8th, and then Quentin Byfield with his 5th on the power play. 4-0 Kings. And as a fact to Ducks fans, Corey Perry on the Doughty goal gets his 9th assist of the season. Still extremely strange seeing Corey Perry. And I know, Bill, for you, that's got to be, he's on your team, but it's still weird.
Very weird.
Yeah.
So the Ducks, after probably getting a verbal lashing to by the one and only Coach Q, Joe Quenneville, the Ducks strike it rich for just a moment. They snap their drought on the power play as Mason McTavish gets his 9th of the year from Seneca and Granlund, 4-1 halfway through the hockey game. You're thinking, okay, do the tides turn? Absolutely not. And then in the 3rd period, not 1, not 2, throw out the hats at Staples Center tonight as LaFerriere gets his 9th and 10th of the season. I don't know what do the Kings do for a hat trick? 30% off hats or discount somewhere?
I think it's like 20%, but it drives me crazy because Kings fans wait till the last minute. So once you think everything's cleaned up, people are still throwing hats on the ice. It's ridiculous.
Well, that's where the Ducks beat LA. We do 30%. Woohoo! Give discount to the OC.
There you go.
We're cheap out here. It's like Artie Moreno.
He's got to get some type of scoring in after a 6-1 shellac, and you got to get some. We give 30%, brother. We give 30%. 30%. Let's go.
Yeah, we're cheap like it's like Artie Moreno. We're a little cheap.
Hey, the vibe is still free parking.
5 times like you did. I only struck out 4. Take that.
There you go. Golden sombrero.
Golden sombrero tonight. Hey, it was bad for the Ducks, but that was a scoring 6-1 Kings. As we said already, Kings 30 shots on goal to the Ducks 25. Ducks win the faceoff. They were better on the power play. They out-hit the Kings, but it doesn't matter what the statistical markers are. The Kings shellacked, clapped the ass cheeks, you name it. It happened. And the freeway faceoff is now evened up 1-1 through the first 2 games of this season.
At least the first game was competitive. So we had to listen to all the Kings scoring. Now we have to go through another rip Band-Aid, and that is the 3 stars of the game. Gee, I wonder how many Ducks will be in this one. That's a cool intro for us not to profile any Ducks players, but take it away, Dom.
Here we go. Our 3 stars of the game tonight, voted by, well, at least it's me here tonight. And because this is the one and only Ducks post-game show here on the Halos and the Infill Network with Catella Chronicles, our great friend Bill from Top Fan Rivalry. I don't care that we lost 6-1. I'm throwing a Duck in there. I don't give a shit. This is the game we're doing it because Bill,
Daffy, Daisy, who we throwing in?
The number 3 star of the game. Number 3. He scored the only goal for the Ducks tonight. Mason McTavish.
All right.
He stopped the power play drought for the Ducks. I have no back. Zach Kavanaugh. His 9th of the season, 9th goal of the year, gets the Ducks on the board, trailing 4-1, and they never sniff another goal. It was great. It was fantastic. But yeah, Mason McTavish, again, I keep saying this, Todd. We need this guy to continue to get better as the season goes on. If you can, the Ducks find the right recipe again, get off the schneid. You got Terry, Carlson, Seneca. You got the young guns. You put McTavish in there. It's a better combination for the Ducks with him than without him. So I think
thanks to his heroics tonight, we only lose by 5.
Hey, only lost by 5, and I'd have to look deeper into the schedule. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'm looking back here for a minute, the Ducks had only been shut out this season on 2 occasions, if I'm not mistaken. I'm looking back through the October schedule. Yes, twice this season, the Ducks were shut out. 2-0 against Minnesota and 7-0 against Utah. So Mason McTavish prevents us from our 3rd shutout of the year. Let's go. Raise the banner.
We are reaching for stuff tonight, aren't we?
Great. And then the number 2 star of the game, personally, again, we talked about it right before the little 3 stars of the game graphic. The LA Kings netminder night, Forsberg, to me, 2nd star of the game, shutting down Cutter Gauthier on the breakaway, shutting down Jackson Lacombe. It would have been a different complexion of the first period. And then the Ducks peppered him in the second. He only allowed 1 little ricochet tip-in goal. So for me, Forsberg was a massive difference in this game. And then at number 1, we've said it already, you get 1, you get 2, you get a hat discount when you score a hat trick. Regardless if it's a win or a loss, you're probably going to be the 1st star of the game. So Laferriere for the Kings, number 1 star of the game. I'm not sure, 1st, 2nd, 3rd hat trick of his career, whatever it is. Hat trick nevertheless for the Kings, and the shellacking continues.
Well, I'll cover this next one real quick before you throw it over to Bill. That is the hoser of the night. I don't think you can give it to one, so I'm going to spread the wealth to the whole Ducks defense tonight. That was an abomination. 4 goals in the first period, 6 overall. I'm not going to blame it all on Dostal, but you got to be better, my friend. But the defense in general was the complete hoser. They all gelled into one big hoser. So, Bill, your Kings playing better, obviously. In a 3-way tie, you mentioned the Vegas Knights have 3 games, 3 games less than the Ducks, so that plays into everything. Yeah. But looking forward, as the Kings got some games going on because we're going to have a back-to-back with you guys in a couple weeks here, or about a couple weeks.
And January 16th and 17th.
You guys got something big happening one day, and then we're going to play softball another day. So
exactly. Yeah, January 16th, all of us are going to be at Noble Ale Works with our good friend, the Mighty Ducks Club. Have another watch party together. We'll be on the stream, play-by-playing the game, interacting with you, the fans. Anybody who comes out to Noble, there's going to be a lot of fun things going on, giveaways, food vendors, the whole kit and caboodle. It's going to be a fun Friday night. That game is the Ducks at the Kings, so back at Staples Center. It's not the Crip, it's Staples. I'm sorry. Will always be Staples Center. And then the next night, the 17th, back at Honda Center. We won't be at that game because we're going to be at softball for Top Fan Rivalry out in Laguna Hills. So we're going to be essentially breaking. I don't want to say breaking, but we're going to be very sore. We're going to be pulling some calf muscles, some Achilles. We're going to rupture some shoulders. Maybe there'll be a fight or two. Depends how Bill pitches to us. And it's going to be great. We're going to have a great time. It's going to be a very festive and fun weekend.
All I know is I still haven't gotten my contract from Todd's group yet to pitch for his team. So Dom, I might be a free agent come this thing. I haven't.
GM, we got to make some decisions.
I'm under Artie, so I'm handing out a lot of 1-year deals. So I got to see what the budget with
for softball. It's not a 1-year deal. It's not even a 1-game deal. It's a 1-inning deal. You get 1 inning, and then inning by inning, and it's a club option if we kick you out and switch shirts and send you to the other team.
Well, I don't know. I mean, the first time we had Bill on the team, he was pitching so good, we actually gave him player options. So he got to decide whether or not to stay on the team or not.
We're going to really look at your bullpen session before the game. And we're going to do an evaluating scouting session, and then we'll decide what we want to do and how to do it.
He's got to make that radar gun buzz. If he does, then he's on.
Yeah, we're going to have some epic good times right there, fellas.
And how many foul balls Todd will hit into the protective metal.
I like to give out the souvenirs. What can I say?
Yes.
There you go.
But no, Bill, the floor is yours for a minute. You can talk about the Kings and the shellacking or just the thoughts.
You guys did great. I mean, listen, there's nothing worse than when you win a game or you're on the losing side, I should say, and the winning side just wants to rub it in. Listen, we're in December. There's still a lot of hockey to play. A lot of things can happen. So I'm gonna take that for what it's worth. I saw.
All the time.
Yeah, he's a Pirates prospect here.
Yes. A Montreal Canadiens prospect.
There you go.
No, it's.
But no. Thank you. I would say if the game were 2-1 or something like that, I might jump in a little bit more. But 6-1, I think we've already discussed what happened, and it's just one of those.
The first game when we talked, Bill, it was the complexity was different in that game with the shootout overtime. It was a different environment.
Yeah, correct. I mean, and again, you don't. There's a way to fan, and then there's a way to be a total jerk, and so I'm choosing to hopefully fan the right way, right? I mean, I'm with my friends, that type of thing.
Oh, he's trying to get an invitation back for another show.
Oh, listen, don't worry. You guys will be on my show soon enough. So, I mean, turnabout's fair play, right? We're going to talk about how Dom is a closet Seattle Mariners fan and Astros fan, and how Todd one time wore a shirt to one of the Top Fan Rivalry get-togethers that said, "I'm truly a Dodgers fan. Don't let anybody tell you different." Yeah. I mean, you'll be on my show, so it's okay. We'll do that.
I once had a obnoxious group of friends who, before COVID and the Dodgers bought their World Series, when they were in the playoffs, routinely getting the World Series, and I went on Facebook all the time and would just rag on the Dodgers, and they actually made shirts that said "Win for Todd."
Oh my God.
Them so much. We didn't even have trash.
So you'll both of you guys will appreciate this. Today I'm doing my normal walk that I normally do, and I'm scrolling through X, and I see an X Spaces group with and I won't tell you what team, but the Reds. And we're going to Cincinnati for opening day. And so anyways, Top Fan Rivalry. So anyways, I jump on this thing and I'm listening to these guys, talk about the Reds and talk about the Bengals and all this stuff, right? So all of a sudden it gets really, really quiet and I can't figure out what's going on. And then some dude unmutes himself. I think he thought he was talking to his buddy on mute, but he's reading our website. So I'm like, oh, I got a request to, list, to talk now, right? So I did. And they said, so who are you a fan of? And I said, the Dodgers. And this guy just started lighting into me.
Oh my!
Just lighting into me he had just poured gasoline on a pile of wood and threw like a match in there and wanted to watch me burn. And so I diffused it with humor. I just said there's 3 types of Dodger fans, like I tell you guys, right? Mm-hmm. And when he heard the one about the parole, he started laughing. He goes, "All right, I guess you're pretty cool then." And I'm like, "Oh,
you got to be able to."
I mean,
you got to be able to. If you can dish it out, you can take it. But yeah, of course, we know. Trust me, that could go on for days and days. And the same thing goes with hockey. There's, Bill's a Kings fan. He's a good Kings fan. But then there's other Kings fans that Todd and I disassociate with very easily. And tonight is one of those nights. But we do agree on one thing.
Mm-hmm.
The Sharks suck, and the Ducks will beat them on Monday.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
That's a must. It needs to happen. The Ducks need to find a way to bounce back.
That's a turnaround game that's much needed. And, to play out Bill's part too, real quick, is, when I was talking to Cody's dad is a Kings fan, and these 2 Ducks fans at a Ducks game earlier in the year, that 5-4 game, kind of bumped into him, and his dad's older and talked some crap to him, and he wound up having to set his own fan base straight. He went up to him and you don't want to do that. But again, there's good, the bad, and the ugly with all fan bases. And if you can come to a mutual respect, at least talk some trash, not hurt feelings, don't go personal. Yeah. I've always said game's on, as long as you're not talking about the person in general, if you're talking about the players and stuff like that, and you're not talking about their family or their race or anything else like that, it's all good. Keep it baseball, keep it funny, keep it lighthearted, and everything should be good.
Todd and I know that very well as a 49ers fan, and he being a Seahawks fan.
Yeah.
Listen,
Dominic can't be perfect. He's a great guy, but he likes the Niners. So,
I know. When you have that big Seacock on your face, it just happens.
Hey, you guys, just so that I know what it feels like for you guys to be Angels fans, because I'm a Raiders fan.
Oh yeah.
And so we're mathematically eliminated not even before halfway through the season.
You signed
Like-
Geno Smith. That was your death sentence.
And I'm telling you right now, boys, mark my words. We are going to get 10 wins. It's just going to take us 6 seasons to do it. We're going to get 10 wins. Okay. That's
Yeah.
straight up the truth. Okay. So I tell people all the time, I'm like, I know what it feels like to be a freaking Angels fan, because 3 weeks into the season, which is like, a quarter of the way in, you're like, okay, maybe. And then half of the way through, you're like, okay, when's spring training again, or when's fantasy camp? So
you just realize you're like, the way things have gone, and I know we're diverting from hockey clearly, but this is just
sorry guys, this is my fault.
It's fine.
Don't
We'll
ask me on the
continue.
show again.
It's like, how did the Raiders beat the Patriots? But that's a whole nother subject, right? Like, how did that conceivably happen? But that tells you. But again, that is how wild any and all sports can be on a day-to-day basis. You get the Ducks in a thriller against the Kings on Black Friday, 2 days after Christmas. It was the black lump of coal with the Kings logo that just swiped the Ducks right in the face. It was, the Ducks. The Ducks have had some bad games this season. The 7-0 loss to Utah was bad. That 3-game road trip in Colorado, Detroit, Minnesota. I would say those have been the low points, and that 5-2 loss to Vancouver have been that handful of bad times for the Ducks this year. I wouldn't this game was bad. At least they scored, so it's not going to be the worst game of the season. But the Ducks, I would say, need to figure it out. They got to make some moves. They are still a competitive hockey team. They're still tied for first. Edmonton's ascending. Vegas, the Ducks are 2-0 against Vegas this year, 1-1 against the Kings. They've done well in the right moments, and they've had a heavy Eastern Conference schedule so far. But again, my goal, if the Ducks could have had 50 points by the end of this month and go into the new year, that would have been massive. The most they're going to be able to get is 48. I think that's still really good.
That's still pretty good.
Still really good. But again, San Jose and Tampa Bay, to me, that Seattle Kraken game last Tuesday was a must for the Ducks. And the San Jose game on Monday has to be a must. There is no question about it. You need to, get the negative juices out of your system. The Ducks haven't won in a week. Last Saturday was the last win, and that includes the 4-day off period. So winning solves a lot of things, right?
Well,
it always does.
Is there some type of, Todd, are we supposed to write that down? Winning solves a lot of things. I think that's in that anything when you compete, right? You want to win.
Yeah, absolutely. But you got to want to compete before you can win.
Yeah, you got to at least look like you're competing. You just can't walk out there and automatically be given the win.
Yeah, exactly. You can't just automatically walk out there and go, "Hey, why not?" Right?
Yeah. I know a team that's like that, Angels, but we won't talk about them right now
But Todd, to your point, and this I think goes across every sport, whether it's hockey, football, basketball, baseball, whatever. For these guys that play the sport, it's their livelihood. For us, it's a way to escape our livelihood for 2 or 3 hours, and there's never a time to really be a jerk about it. And I mean, that's just next level stuff, right? That's just human decency. And it always cracks me up. It always cracks me up this time of the year where it's, whether you celebrate Hanukkah or Christmas or whatever you celebrate, right? Festivus, whatever, if you're, the Costanza family.
Yep.
But it always cracks me up how everything slows down, where people just seem to be a little bit more kind. Yet when it comes to sports, everybody still wants to kill each other. I'm like, just bring that down too. Just bring that down too. Just
Todd and I will feel that again next week when the Niners and the Seahawks are battling for the division. Essentially, we're going to want to be at each other's throats. We still love each other. We're still friends, but that just for those 3 hours where it's our hobby to enjoy sports. We're going to say, suck it, get away from me.
Yeah. I don't want to see you or talk to you until maybe
Even
Tuesday.
when Todd and I were together watching week 1 Niners and Seahawks, we were at the same table and we were laughing and joking during the commercial break in the game. No, if you're with good people, even if you're on separate teams, the good people always roll out. So if I ever go to a Ducks Kings game again, I'm taking Bill with me, regardless if I'm going in their house or they're coming to Honda Center, because I know
Bring
that
it. Let's go.
that's good. That is good people.
Man,
In fact, we need to do that before the end of the season because I got a buddy who works up at Staples, so we'll get up there.
well, maybe we could. It may be a push for the 17th, but maybe we could do it later in the year. But
Yeah.
because I was thinking, man, after the after we have a little pizza, we'll still have time after that game because it's 1 to 4.
Yeah.
The game doesn't start till 7, so maybe we stop by at Noble on the way back. Who knows?
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Someplace, right? We can do something fun.
Yeah, exactly.
So is this like when this Niners Seahawks thing, is this like where you start telling each other that your mom's dresses you funny and stuff like that? Is that where for the 3 hours, is that kind of where you go?
We haven't gotten that far yet. It's more about
Mm.
talking crap about the players or the
Currently.
Currently, we
Okay.
keep it within the game for now. Al
Okay.
gets deeper now. If it becomes a playoff matchup, that takes potentially a different connotation. You
All
know,
The
bets off.
NFC Championship game.
I'm just glad I did not know Todd when Richard Sherman blocked Michael Crabtree's catch and he went off like on Aaron Andrews. I'm the best corner. Who's Michael Crabtree? I was livid at home, but if I knew Todd then, oh my gosh, I would have never lived it down. I'm still hearing about it today.
This is way before Heedy, but had I been on around then at that time, or we did stuff back then, people would not like me to this day, maybe because of football. Angels fans. There's a lot of different fans of other fan bases. A lot of Niner fans that are Angel fans.
Yep.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be following us because I was super obnoxious, even when we won the Super Bowl. And because I was like, hey man, this is making up for that year we got robbed by the Steelers. So I was like, I was just all in. I was 100% in.
Yeah.
And then this last game with the Rams, it's like I posted like
Go
nobody.
Go rewatch the Unfiltered Sports podcast from last Tuesday.
I had to
It's
go off
literally
on that one.
15 minutes of Todd just going off, and it is the most hilarious thing. And we agree. That's like we just talked about. We agree that we don't like the Sharks and the Golden Knights, and that Todd and we agree. We don't like the Rams and we don't like the Cardinals. It's perfectly fine.
Yeah. That's one thing we have in common football wise. Like whenever the Rams lose, me and Dom are always on there rejoicing. So
yeah.
Well, listen, boys, again, 10 wins. It'll take 6 seasons. It was a fumble. Let's not talk about there's nothing for me to talk about. Do you know what the problem is, you guys? Here's what the problem was. Okay. The Raiders go to the Super Bowl. I'm not a big gambler, right? My buddy owns a place. My wife's out of town. My buddy owns this Irish steakhouse pub place. And I go down there to watch the game and he goes, give me $15. And I said, give me food. Like, I'm not giving you 50. Like, what do you want $15 for? And he says, give me $15. I'm going to put you in the pool. And I'm like, I don't want to be in the pool. So I buy, my burger or whatever I buy. And then I'm watching the game. And apparently he put me in the pool. Well, I don't know if you remember at the end of the game, but he literally hands me the cash with like 22 seconds to go. And Gannon throws that INT and it gets run back for a pick six.
Mm-hmm.
Like with the 20 seconds left or whatever, and I'm handing the cash over to somebody. I think that was it right there, because I think had I not touched that cash, I would not have cursed the Raiders for. I think
You're playing with mafia blood money.
Yes, I don't. Yeah, something like that. I mean, I blame myself on this one.
Oh,
right?
It's crazy how far we've come in the sports, but. We talk about this for those that are watching the show. This is not a typical Ducks post-game show. We normally talk Ducks, but when we have Bill, the top fan rivalry, the Kings fan, and the Kings shellac the Ducks 6-1, we've gone off the rails, and I don't think we've talked about hockey for about 15 minutes, and that's perfectly fine because this game didn't exist. This was a preseason game. It means nothing. It's December. What just happened? We're still live? Oh, oops. Just kidding.
Oops.
No, this is. Listen, I'm just here for 2 reasons. 1, I'm just here to make you guys laugh. And 2, I'm just here so I won't get fined. That's
there you
all.
go.
What more can we do? Said the best.
Yeah, Marshawn Lynch. Absolutely.
I'm just here so I don't get fined, okay? If I need to, I'll quote Latrell Sprewell. I can't feed my family on that much money. Come on. I need a raise. As the guy's the highest paid person in the NBA.
Right.
I can't feed my family on that.
Well, see, now in today's money, that would be chump change. That was 39 million years ago. So,
Oh my God, 39 million. What a disrespect.
Yeah,
right?
no, that's like a half a gallon of gas here. I mean,
Oh man. Well, our next telecast or post game show, I should say, is Monday, December 29th. That'll be after that important Sharks game. So we're hoping we're coming on more positivity.
Yep.
And then we'll close out
that's
the
an
year.
international holiday.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then we'll close out the year with Tampa Bay on Wednesdays. That'll be a 1:00 start. So a 4:00 post game, most likely there. So
There you go.
Busy
There you go.
times here, folks. Again, the season, as for the Ducks fans, as we'll wrap it up on a nice bow, there's still plenty of time this season. The Ducks in a little bit of a skid, losing 6 of their last 8. They will find a way to get out of this funk. I trust in Coach Quenneville. This is the time where the Ducks, who knows, front office Pat Verbeek might have something up his sleeve, better early rather than later. Trade deadline isn't until March 6th, and we have to remember there's going to be an Olympic break February 6th until February 24th. 2.5 weeks of no hockey. If the Ducks come out of that Olympic break like they did tonight, it's going to be a long stretch for Anaheim, but we got time. We're going to rally back, and this is what happens. We put positive energy in the world, and the Ducks will get it back, and hell, that's why I put Mason McTavish in the 3 stars of the game. He kept us from our 3rd shutout of the year, folks. Throw the parade. Get the champagne going. It's time.
there you go. So with that positivity there, by Dominique.
The season starts on Monday.
There you go. Thank you, Bill from Top Fan Rivalry for
Thanks
stopping
for having
by.
me, boys.
If you haven't checked them out, please check them out at topfanrivalry.com. Get your latest updates on anything sports related. They have a bunch of people that come on from all different sports. It's not just baseball and not just locally either. So you'll get a nice variety of teams from east to west. So it's pretty nice right there. And then follow Dominic from Catella Chronicles as he breaks down and writes articles about the Angels and the Ducks, and also puts a lot of stuff up there, breaking news and whatnot. And then follow us on Instagram, X, and also TikTok as far as the Halos in the infield as we cover the Angels and Ducks. And on Tuesday, Dominic joins me and the other cast members there for the Unfiltered Sports Football podcast. So for Todd Fox, Dominic Lorenz, and Bill from Top Fan Rivalry, we'll catch you later. Go Ducks.